Gotham Chess versus the Rook. Chess boxing is somewhat of a recent phenomenon. I'm sure some of you have heard about it, but how much do we really know about it? Not much, I'm willing to bet, is the answer for most of you, so let's get into it today. The origins of chess boxing and what the future may hold. Before we get into it, feel free to drop a like, a sub, and a comment. This is the first time I've done a back-to-back upload, so I hope y'all enjoy that. Let's get into it. Chess boxing is pretty self-explanatory, but also somehow not. Traditionally, it's 3 minutes of chess followed by 3 minutes of boxing, followed by another 3 minutes of chess, and so on, until either player ends up losing at chess or losing on the boxing front. I guess the most interesting thing about this sport, to me at least, is once you start getting walloped in the head, it becomes a little harder to make the right chess move, yeah? Let Bob Sapp hit Hikaru and I might stand a chance, you know? The creator of chess boxing did so because of a comic, some anime chess fighting scene thing, something straight out of Baki. He went on to host an event of it with his buddy, which I actually respect so much and find really cool. For them to create something out of nothing and then see it through and get the turnout they did for it, must have been something really special. The creator was actually the better chess player of the two and still struggled to find a win due to excessive blows to the head. They actually were so half out of it that the game was unwinnable for the opponent. Seeing as how they only had a knight and a king, which you cannot checkmate with.
Yeah, the first chess boxing fight, was intense. It was my first boxing fight, and everybody who's been in the ring knows that this is like almost like losing your virginity. I wasn't the best boxer in the world, and neither was I the best chess player in the world, but we happened to be the first two chess boxers in the world. There were 1,000 people who didn't know what to expect in this old church, and we were really well prepared actually. And we had an Alekhine defense with black, which is a very defensive opening. And because I knew I was the better chess player, I wanted to, drag Jean-Louis into a complex situation. So I was better in calculating. And then it was the first boxing round. So the first chess round, then we went into the first boxing round, which is the second round. And after trading the first punches, it felt like, wow, this feels good. And it felt really good. Then coming back to the chessboard, in the third round, I overestimated my whole position and I basically destroyed my whole strategy. And I started pushing the F-pawn timer. And Louis had like close to a minute, I think. As a rule in the end game, you always have to bring your king to the center to help him, getting the pawns to the last row, and he's just not seeing it anymore. He takes off my last pawn, which means it's a draw. It's a technical draw because black doesn't have any mating material. But I won every boxing fight, which would give me the win of the fight.
Now we move to the most famous case of chess boxing, Ludwig's chess boxing tournament, which took place only 3 months ago, which featured Gotham Chess, Ludwig commentators. This event was very entertaining, I must say, and if this sport ever has a future, it's because of this event. Though there were many players who sucked donkey balls at chess and just wanted to box like this guy.
Moves first and moves his pawn to the middle of the board.
Yep, e4. We haven't really seen a whole lot of e4 today. We've seen a lot of queen's pawn openings, and Charlie's already going for a think. That's a bad sign.
Oh, he's getting different angles, seeing if the angle of the look helps him figure out what piece to move.
I think he's asking Myth for advice, but he's also the lowest rated player in this building outside of Churdley's.
Really putting a lot of thought into this first move, taking a pawn.
Maybe Churdley's.
Moving in a square.
Never hit the clock.
Playing defensive is Myth.
This might be the shortest round in terms of moves that we get tonight. We might get about 4 moves on the board and a lot of face making back and forth.
Yeah, Churdley's just yelling to the crowd, what game is this? Good sign.
Yeah, he asked me yesterday how the knight moves, so that was a fun conversation.
It's bad. That might be a bad sign. And he has me pressed, and that move is very bad. That is a very bad move. It took 2 moves.
But he's challenging the queen of Myth. Let's see if Myth figures it out.
Myth shaking his head like that's not the freest bishop to have ever been birthed.
Bro, what are you doing? Why are you here? Be for real. This is also the same event Myth put the vibrator in his butt to test if the Hans Niemann cheating scandal was possible. Check out this video if you're curious on that. I guess that's one of the problems with this sport though. You could just have a good boxer kind of stall on the chess front, but I actually think that's the genius of it. I'd like to see someone like Gotham Chess versus Tyson Fury, you know? Someone completely dominant on both ends of the spectrum. Now let's talk the future of chess boxing. It has none. I'm only joking. I think its shelf life will continue to live on, and I think it'll actually get bigger before anything else happens to it, even if it does die out one day. There are definitely way worse sports out there in my opinion. Slap boxing, cricket, and women's basketball, just to name a few. I could see it being legitimized. Is that a real word? I think it is. I think it's very dependent on content creators to keep pushing the envelope though. I'm excited to see where it goes. What do y'all think about chess boxing? Any thoughts, opinions, or words of wisdom? Let me know down below. Lick every inch of my body.